Welcome, 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 geeks and nerds, girls and boys, to the first episode of 2026. Happy New Year to you. We've got Chef Liz Schuster in studio with us. We're going to talk about the Stranger Things series finale and our best and worst TV series finales of all times. All that and more. Stand by.
We're talking TV, comics and movies, and video games. And if you don't know Star Trek from Star Wars, we'll try to explain. There are 12 doctors from Hogwarts houses, one ring rules them all. To be the greatest Pokemon master, you must catch them all. You must catch them all. Try to catch them all. Gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all.
And if you're driving around the greater St. Louis area tonight listening to us on the Big 550 KTRS, welcome to all of you. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you are streaming us on YouTube and Facebook, hello. We have video tonight, which means Joey V's in studio with me as well. He'll be giving his thought. Did you prepare? Did you have some TV series you want to talk about?
I did prepare. I've not seen Stranger Things, but I did have two series that I did want to talk about that no one here, I think, will bring up. So There'll be no overlap.
All right, well, that's fine. That's good. So we will we'll get into those series as well. We're going to talk about those. And if you have a text, if you have a favorite series, or if you have thoughts about our thoughts on Stranger Things Series 5, the finale, the big series, let us know that as well. Emily Stawinski, Chef Liz. Oh, and hi, James. You're the favorite, obviously, Chef.
Hi, Emily.
And Shannon. Hello, Shannon. She says, hi, everyone. Hi, James and Joey. So, yes, as I mentioned, Chef Liz Schuster of Tenacious Eats is in studio with me. She and I had a meeting. I was like, oh, my gosh, you have to come on with me this Sunday because I know you were just as excited about the final season as I was.
Involved. Really. I was so wrapped up in it, right? We've been waiting for this for so long.
It's been 84 years.
84 years.
But yes, and now the kids are all having children of their own, and Millie Bobby Brown's married, and it's crazy.
Has a kid. She's a parent. So if she's 11, her kid is like, what, 1.5?
Right, yeah, something like that, yeah. Or is her kid 12? In the series of things.
Or is her kid 6'7"?
6'7".
6'7".
Oh, Emily hates that. If Emily's listening right now, she's probably screaming at her radio or computer if she's watching. So yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. As we said, if you saw my promotion for this, we are going to be talking about Stranger Things. So if you have thoughts, I know some of you went and saw it in the theater. You didn't see it in the theater, did you?
No, we watched it from the comfort of our living room.
Yeah, I mean,
so that we would have the freedom to yell and scream, and I didn't think my family would be suitable enough to go into a theater and behave through it. So
that's probably best case scenario there. Yeah,
I care about others.
Yeah,
and their viewing pleasure. Like
right.
I hate it when people talk through films. So I knew our family was so vested in this that it wasn't going to be quiet.
Right. No, and I know a lot of people did. And Joey V, you were telling me that, what was it AMC Theaters did?
Well, Netflix actually teamed up with theaters where you got to see Stranger Things for free, but you had to buy a $20 food voucher. So that was straight profit that went to the theaters, and also in a roundabout way, they don't have to pay royalties to any of their actors either. But this is a good sign that maybe Netflix is willing to play ball with theaters if this Warner Brothers Discovery merger goes through. And it looks like they sold 1.1 million $20 food vouchers. So, I mean, that's like $1 billion. No, it's like $25 million, I think.
Yeah, that's not bad for the theater chains, which they desperately needed it.
It used to be where AMC would not play ball with Netflix at all.
Right.
They would do all the best picture movies, right? And they would show them in the theaters as a recap Oscar season. But if it was a Netflix movie, they would not play it. But now there's some teamwork going on. You know, they did K-pop Demon Hunters earlier in the year as well. So I have high hopes for this merger to go through with Netflix.
Yeah, good. That's why we want to see more of that, I think.
I think collaboration only makes it stronger, the industry stronger, right?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as getting people to go to the theater.
Right. No, I agree.
So,
That's what they kind of want, because if it's going to be one of those things for everyone listening, if you're like, you watch Stranger Things, you saw my favorite season of all, season 3, Starcourt Mall, the mall, and everyone, I see all the people on Threads, and we're going to get into some of the comments. I did save some of the comments from people I saw on Threads reacting to Stranger Things overall and also the final season. But did Gen X really do this? Do you guys, like, this is a love letter to Gen X. I mean, the mall, the going out on your bikes, the having a fort in the middle. That was me. I did all of that stuff. I had fewer friends than those boys did because I was a nerd. But it's one of those things that, yes, the mall was huge, and you missed the mall now, Gen Z and millennials and Gen Alpha. Millennials probably saw it. But that's going to be the same thing with movie theaters. You'll be telling your kids, oh, we used to go see movies as a communal experience with all of our friends, and now it's just we sit at home and stream it. So go to the movies, buy concessions, and keep the movie theaters in business. We want to see more of that.
Well, think about this. The drive-ins, right?
Yes.
Right? Drive-ins there's 1 or 2 left in our area. Blockbuster.
Right.
Video rental.
Oh my gosh.
Right? The whole process of going to pick your movie, going home, getting your popcorn, but seeing it in the theater, it's the way to watch movies. There's certain movies I refuse to watch on a smaller screen. I have to be in a theater to see.
Yeah.
Period. But I mean, like, when you talk about season 3 in the malls raised our generation. I'm Gen X. That was where we were.
Yeah.
Do you remember the line when Joyce says she's apologizing to Will? Was that this past season,
this
right?
season, yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, I can't believe it. I came home, I smoked a bunch of cigarettes, drank some really cheap wine, watched television, fell asleep, and I didn't know where you were for 8 hours. My husband, Chef Steve, who's also Gen X, and I looked at each other without a stop. Any delay, we both went, 80s, Mom. Like, that was just our childhood. We were pretty much feral.
Yeah. I mean, my mom did not smoke or drink wine, but there were times, I think I told you, that I'd be out and we'd be playing in the sewers. Like, we'd go into they had those giant sewer things. We'd see how far we could explore. We'd take flashlights. And my mom was the concern. She'd drive around the neighborhood yelling my name out of the side of the van until she found where I was. Get out of the sewer! But yeah, other than that.
That was last week, right?
Yeah, just last week. Yeah, okay. Which I don't go to that store anymore now. Sorry, Mom. But no, to that point, I just want to make that point about the theaters specifically because, like you said, no more Blockbuster, no more drive-thrus, malls. I mean, we've got West County Mall, but I remember as a kid in high school, Northwest Plaza, when it became an indoor mall, Jamestown Mall, because I'm a North County boy. That was I spent the most of my weekends at those places.
Right. So I think that, overall, the writing for Stranger Things was very accurate. I do think that they had to change the way we spoke a lot because a lot of the things we were saying would not be acceptable now, right?
Yeah.
So I think they changed that kind of tonality for new audiences, but I do think it was a love letter to our generation.
Yeah.
But I think my favorite season was season 1.
Okay. I mean, they started out really strong, I got to say, for, like Seinfeld didn't get really good till season 3. There's some seasons and shows like that, but no, they hit the ground really strong because I think probably season 1's my second favorite season.
Season 1 reminded me, it was very John Carpenter-esque. Yeah. It had that grittiness to it. It was very dark. I loved it. That was the hook, line, and sinker for me. Especially the music was very John Carpenter-esque, I think. And then, I get goosebumps when I hear the intro music. But it kind of lost that. It got softer, I thought, after the first season, which I get. Mm-hmm. I kind of thought they were placating a little bit to the audience. That's okay, right, to a certain extent. But yeah, Gen X did that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think season 3, to me, felt more like shades of Fast Time at Ridgemont High with the mall setting. And they had, they introduced Robin and they had the Scoops Ahoy and all that. It just kind of felt a little bit more in that vein, a little lighter than season 1, certainly. But also still had, I love the plot line with the Russian people buried in the mall. And we had I'm going to get back to the chats here very quick because I saw that one. I saw there's a bunch of chats. Our friend Shannon went and saw it. She said it was fun seeing the finale in the movie theater. BK on the Air is listening from Cartersville, Georgia, and he said that Stranger Things Mall, the Star Court, was filmed in the Atlanta metro area at Gwinnett Place Mall. Shannon says our parents were clueless about where we were. Riptide Roxy says, I know the taste of hose water because we drank it right out of the hose. Of course we did.
Tastes like danger.
It does taste like danger. You're right.
Yeah.
Craig Parsons says, hi, guys. Hello, Craig. And at Tiny5815 says, go Chef Liz. So that's a fan of yours there, Tiny5815. I think I got, and Emily Stowe said she did scream at the 6'7" reference that I made earlier. So that's the chats there. I'm looking on, trying to catch all of them. I think that was all of the chat. Oh, Riptide Roxy says, because season 1 was written for Gen X and the later seasons were catering to Gen Z. Exactly what you said. Yes.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. So that's, and Shannon says Northwest and Jamestown Mall, where you dropped off with no cell phones. That's true. We didn't have cell phones either. It's like, we'll pick you up then, and here's a quarter for the payphone.
And you know, I had multiple jobs within that mall as a teenager. And
Northwest or Jamestown?
Northwest Plaza. And I had friends who did. And I heard someone say that Scoops Ahoy, there's no way that they could have been messing around in the back, figuring out what a Russian recording was and all this. And they had a business to run. I'm like, we ran amok in the businesses that we worked for. I mean, yes. To me, that was plausible.
No, my friends Nick and Joe worked at the A&W hot dog place at Jamestown Mall, and same thing. Like, they'd be sitting there like SpongeBob working at the Krabby Patty, just kind of hanging out, and didn't matter. And
my aunt worked at the hot dog
90s.
place, too.
Who did?
My aunt.
Really?
Aunt Kristen, yeah.
I wonder if Aunt Kristen knows my friend Joe Stoltz.
I bet you.
Or
They
Nick
made out in
Gianazzi.
the back, deciphering Russian streams or whatever.
Well, I mean, as long as they're deciphering Russian streams and not doing something else streaming.
I almost said French streaming. Sorry.
That's sorry. So anyway, so overall, though, to give your thoughts on season 5, you just think it was like a scale of 1 to 10, season and finale.
Seasonally, I thought they had a lot to wrap in.
Mm-hmm.
There's something that's bugging me. So I want to know what you think about this. Okay. The briefcase. The glowing light in the briefcase, right? So I know that there's supposed to be a spinoff.
Marcellus's soul was inside it. Oh, that's Pulp Fiction. Sorry.
Okay, but where did Pulp Fiction get that? Do you know? It's a 1955 film called Kiss Me Deadly. It's one of my favorite noir films. It got in big trouble at the time because apparently it was pretty naughty. But I love noir. But the whole narrative created by this light in a briefcase. I think it's called I think it's called a
MacGuffin?
MacGuffin, yeah. So my problem with season 5 is seeing what was in the briefcase. I thought if there's going to be a spinoff based on the rock that, Henry picks up. Ooh, sorry, spoiler.
Yeah, we should warn people, if you're listening right now and you've not seen Stranger Things all the way through the season finale, we will have some light spoilers, just to warn you. At Eric Davidson 4914 says, hey there, hello. And our friends, the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS down in Florida, say, hey, wah, hello to you.
Hello. Well, I thought, okay, this is MacGuffin. I don't want to see what's revealed in the briefcase yet. Right? That's a really great vehicle to keep the suspense, that greed and fear, and play on that. So I was a little let down by revealing, what was in it right away. I thought it would have been better to kind of hold back and just have like the light shining from the briefcase, just like it was used in Pulp Fiction.
If they are going to do the spinoffs, which I've heard back and forth, like maybe they're not going to do a spinoff anymore because it wasn't as well received as they thought. So I'm not sure if it's happening or not. I've seen conflicting reports both ways. My biggest disappointment was, other than being there and clapping at the graduation, every other character had a nice little bow put on the story except Murray. Murray got no love. Is he running a taco stand and selling armaments out the back of the place? Is he working for a mafia somewhere? What's he doing?
I like to think he's an arms dealer.
That's why, yeah.
Right. It's what, 89? So he should be just right in there, right, to be an arms dealer. We see him briefly right at the graduation ceremony, clapping,
that's it, though.
But that was it. He didn't. His narrative went hoo, hoo, hoo. Or what happened to Vicky? Robin's Vicky, because the last time we see
I guess
her,
they broke up because Robin seemed very single on the rooftop at the end.
Yeah, and I want to talk about the rooftop scene too.
Okay.
I mean, obviously that's Reality Bites.
Clearly.
And we know Winona Ryder was in I love
And
Reality
Ethan Hawke.
Bites. And Ethan Hawke's daughter, I thought that was kind of
nice little bookend moment, I guess. Bookend was the right throwback.
But I don't know. They were just too, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too critical, but that scene, I thought it was a little mushy-gushy. I thought when I saw the graduation sequence all the way through that, I thought it was a dream sequence.
Oh.
Because
I can see
it
why,
was so perfect and tied up with a little bow, like you said. I thought someone was dreaming this ending.
Yeah.
I didn't think that that was the actual storyline. I did like Dustin's jumping up and down and doing what Eddie did.
Pulling open the shirt. Yeah, this is what Eddie would have done.
Yeah.
And I saw someone post online that the orange gowns had something to do with they're still in Vecna's reality. He won, and this was all them seeing what Vecna wanted them to see, which someone else pointed out, it's not that deep. The Hawkins colors are green and orange. Green goes against the background, like the costumer came out. That's why I love about social media, too, is like James Gunn will say, where did you get that information? That's completely wrong. That's not what's going on in Supergirl. The costumer for Stranger Things was in the threads and says, actually, the Hawkins school colors are orange and green. Green would look stupid against the grass background, so we went with orange. It's not that deep. So I kind of like, but I do love the fan theories, but I like even more the smackdown from the professionals saying, nope.
Okay, so there were things I noticed that, like, I thought it was a dream sequence. And then, you and I were talking about the sound wave stuff that Dr. K was using to keep L and 8 in submission. When it was used before, the screen was pulsating.
There was a little distortion. You could see it.
Yeah, vibration.
So that we'd know.
And then all of a sudden, there wasn't one, but there was the camera was definitely looking at those. I thought that was on purpose, that you could see that it wasn't
they weren't
reverberating.
Active. Because that was my whole thing. Again, so spoilers, let me very quickly making sure I'm not missing anybody. Riptide Roxy says Murray is Robin's creepy uncle in Philly. Maybe that was it. Maybe that was he's got the place. They're going to be staying with Murray.
Yeah.
SJ says hi from Southern California. Hello to you. Thank you for tuning in again tonight. Emily Stawinski, from a storytelling perspective, it was flawless. It was extremely challenging to land a massive story like that, like Game of Thrones. The arc, the subtext of the EI embodying childhood magic, etc. And she did like the flawless use of Prince, which someone pointed out in threads. They said you're going from Landslide by the Carpenters to Prince in the same thing. That's kind of a nice little encapsulation with the little bookends there, musical wise.
Did you notice something else? A very important Gen X vehicle that was used, the montage.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
An emotional montage. They could have shown anything, but Prince, Purple Rain. I mean, I just start crying when I hear Purple Rain. I don't even know why.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was so moving. Absolutely correct. It's a big thing to land with everything that's going on. Why not leave something to the mythos, though? Right? Does everything have to be tied up?
And it seems weird, especially if they were considering doing spin-offs. So I'm not sure how much was back and refilmed. Shannon says, where were the Demogorgons? What happened to the pregnant women? That's true. They never show the pregnant women. I guess they all died in the Upside Down. If the Upside Down was destroyed, I didn't see them getting the pregnant woman out. So
I thought 8 made it up because 8 could project, whatever she wanted you to see.
Oh,
so
okay.
I thought that was a way of kind of, maybe I'm wrong, but kind of like fishing in 11, like, hey, this is what's going to happen if you don't get rid of yourself.
Maybe.
Kind of thing.
Interesting. That's true. I didn't think about that, but our friend Christian from The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS says the whole ending was Mike's dream in a snow globe. I mean, I was half expecting. I wouldn't put it past him to do something like that. At Olivia Miller 1388, what was your favorite thing from Stranger Things series finale? Both of you, your favorite moment. I had to say my favorite moment was actually in those first episodes that dropped, when you realize Will's got that connection, he did the 11 blood wipe thing from the nose. That was like, my hands went up. I was like, yes! That was my favorite moment.
I think that was mine too, because it was a plot twist I had hoped for, because I'm the reason why I was so locked into these characters from the get-go. These were my friends and I. We played D&D. We probably live vicariously through our own characters too much in the game, but Will was the sorcerer, and you know what I mean. And I'm like, oh my gosh, finally, finally, someone is elevated in the game, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I thought that was the greatest moment ever.
And when you get the reveal of who was in Mr. What's-Its thing leading Holly out, and we get the reveal that it's Max. That was another moment. I was like, oh, she's still in it. Here we go. We got Max back. I think those were the two moments that I was most excited by, I think. Because the middle three episodes, I didn't dig the middle three episodes. It was kind of like, I feel like everything happened at the beginning. Here's a bunch of setup for the finale so we can do a 2-hour finale.
That was, I agree with you, it was set up. But I got really excited. I love any time there's a cultural reference to something that we would recognize, but Wrinkle in Time was such an important book.
Yeah.
And as soon as they said Mr. What's-It, I went, oh my gosh, there's a Mrs. What's-It in Wrinkle in Time. And then I thought, okay, so comparing Wrinkle in Time's narrative to that episode, I loved it. I thought that was genius.
No, I saw people this whole season, and I looked up their profiles. I'm like, they're all people who are probably Gen Z or younger, saying, actually, they wouldn't know what Mission Impossible was because that movie didn't come out till '94. I'm like, my dear, it was a TV series in the '60s. As a kid, again, Gen X, I can tell, lived experience. Everyone knew what Mission Impossible was. And then they also pointed out the Godzilla movie didn't come out till '93. So how would I'm like, again, Marvel Comics. I had to correct someone on Threads today. I said Marvel Comics had a Godzilla series from '77 to '79. If those kids were collectors, they would know it. And every nerd knew what Godzilla was. We didn't call it Gojira or whatever there was in the actual movie title over there.
Right.
Everyone knew it was Godzilla. It was an American thing. They had model kits built that you could get from Ertl, I think.
Yep.
But there's no reason. So I hate the people who try to go through with their modern sensibility and say they wouldn't have known with that because I didn't know about Godzilla until '93. Too bad.
I think these are the kind of the same gen that will watch things like Terminator and find the unfeasibility of Arnold looking through a telephone book to find all the Sarah Connors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that would never happen. Like
We didn't have Google, kid.
We didn't have Google. That was a thing.
Yeah.
So I could see a robot using that.
Right.
To try and find someone.
I just thought it was very, very humorous and endearing. It's like, oh, sweet summer child. Let's see here. Those were, I think, our favorite moments. Olivia Miller, thank you for the question. Spike says, Heidi Ho, Spike from Lost in Space Toys. Shannon said all the discussions about the deaths and no one died. I think 11 died. Obviously, 8 died. And in my opinion, I think Mike told that story to make himself feel a little bit better. And you and I talked about this at length. I don't know if we'll have time to go into all that right now. Happy 2026 to, thank you, Olivia. Happy 2026 to you. Riptide Roxy, my biggest beef is the upright bass player at Enzo's had no idea what they were doing. As a bass player, Riptide, I should have caught that myself, but I probably was paying more attention to the look on Winona Ryder's face when that was all happening, because I thought that was a really cute moment too. I liked that they had that little, and they mentioned Montauk, which this whole thing's based off an actual experiment that was supposedly happening.
I was about to say that. Yeah. Finally mentioning Montauk.
Yeah.
So
that was a nice little.
Maybe that's a hint.
I mean, if we got a Hopper and Joyce spinoff, I'd watch that.
Oh, I would be all over that. Yeah.
Christian from Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, disappointed when it turned out Joyce shot JR and Patrick Duffy in the shower the whole time. So, yeah, there we go with the snow globe again.
Well, I didn't understand why Joyce didn't call out. She went to high school with Henry. Why didn't she?
Yeah, that's
she goes, you blanked with the wrong family, and then whack, whack, whack. And I'm like, Henry, you were a jerk in high school and you're
Right.
still a jerk kind of thing.
Something like that. And I expected him to turn back into Henry after he was impaled.
Yeah.
Like he'd lose his not his Creel, but his Vecna powers.
Like, why show how human he was when it took him over, so to speak, right? And then Will's trying to speak to him, saying, you were just a kid, you didn't mean to do it. And then, but they don't show that human aspect when Joyce starts to, or he's dying. And, maybe they're trying to say that there wasn't any more Henry.
Maybe.
That he that part of him was gone.
Because I was expecting a bit of a, from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, season 5, when Buffy finally is beating Glory and she reverts back to Ben. I was expecting that kind of a moment there. Vecna would go back to Henry. But,
you know why? I think that's our Star Wars.
Buffy?
The way we were raised. Like we're expecting, Anakin, Darth Vader, to become Anakin before he dies.
Right, yeah.
So we can relate to him. I think that's our upbringing, expecting that kind of.
Maybe that was it. So I'll blame our Gen X upbringing. I said Landslide by the Carpenters. What was I thinking? Landslide was
Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac's. Oh, yes. Joey corrected me in the so yes. Thank you, Joey. You're entirely correct, and I'm an idiot. I can't believe I made that mistake.
But what about ending on David Bowie's Heroes? All these younger folks seem to think it's a happy Heroes, like, yay. No, it's not happy. There's a line in there about kissing by the Berlin Wall and sadness. Like, I'm sorry. I went down a wormhole with that. But
No. I mean, I never get. I'll never complain about hearing a Bowie song in anything.
Oh, me either.
But no, that is a great point. That it's kind of that melancholy. It's not because that was that when Mike saw that, you could tell his face. He had that little bit of a smile at the end, like life goes on. But his childhood, that's the end of it. He's moving on. Luckily, I have never had that problem because my childhood has never ended. As I sit here in my radio show talking about TV series and things like that.
And one more note that I found completely unfeasible was I thought Derek could have gone on to play D&D, but maybe Holly. But the
Holly
rest,
now, yeah.
Yeah, but the rest of those kids that were down there, they weren't D&D kids.
Those were Barbie and My Little Pony girls if I ever saw them. D&D, please. I could totally see Holly because now she was into it because she had her, piece that Mike gave her.
Yeah.
And she was, that was her talisman. And of course, Derek.
What's up with Derek saying the other kid farted? That smell? And he asked if they sat down and he's like, did you fart or something like that? But then there was that point in the truck when they were on their way back to the military compound where Derek's like smiling at Mike and waving in a really weird way. And then someone says they smelled something on the truck.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. There's a line somewhere in there. Maybe I'm imagining that. But
oh, no. Robin rolled down the window and stuck her head out because she said that after being underneath the mind flare that
smelled bad.
Yeah.
But I thought, I don't know. Maybe maybe Derek just has gas or
or Derek's just weird. Maybe
Derek's just weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I did love the character of Derek though.
Oh yeah, he was great.
A great addition there in the final season. I'm well overdue for a break. The kids in the end playing their last game of D&D instead of going. That's another thing I said. That's unrealistic because if I had an attractive girl ask me to go to a party, I would have ditched my friends immediately in high school.
But what if she made you cry?
That's true because she was that girl, and after the snowball, maybe you're right. I am petty as well. So yes, that's true. Interesting.
Revenge is good.
It is. Emily says Joyce with the axe was beyond satisfying. I agree. That was a nice moment for Joyce to have that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Make sure. Craig Parson. Shout out to BH Surfers. Human Cannonball. Late 80s made harder alternative bands so grunge could walk. That's a great point. Shannon says Derek was good character. We never saw a connection with Vecna and Joyce and Karen. Alden did. I'm not sure if they really addressed that either. Like you were saying,
that's in the musical, but I guess that's like
so it's it is considered the musical is supposed to be canon, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I didn't see the musical, so maybe that's just very quick trying to make sure I don't miss anybody. If there's anything here, wow, everyone, you guys are bringing the chat tonight. Hello, at Ken Krantz 9450. Quarter for the payphone. When I was a kid, payphones were a dime. No, that I will not say okay, boomer, because I was on that cusp Because I remember when I was little, my mom gave me a dime, and I was thinking later on, I'm like, maybe it was what do they call it when it's like the Bernstein Bears, when you remember something incorrectly and you think it's actual. What's the name of that?
Oh, I know what you mean.
Not Munchausen, but
Mandela.
Mandela. Thank you.
Mandela.
Yeah. So I always thought, like, maybe I'm misremembering. I think that it's always been a quarter. But yeah. So Ken Kranz, you are entirely correct. Eric Davidson, we love a good redemption story. Yes, we do. Shannon said, my kids want a David Bowie song for the last song. That's, like I said, I'll never get mad at a Bowie song. Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, everyone was upset when Robin pushed Leonardo DiCaprio off the door. I think he's just still going on the movie references. Christian, you ignorant slut. Let's see. Replying to Shannon. Yes, okay. So I think I've got everybody. All right, so we're going to go take a quick break because I'm well overdue for that. So if you're listening right now, thank you for all the texts. I'd love seeing this. I'm going to try to make sure I keep up with those. We are going to take a brief commercial break. We'll come right back. We'll continue to take your calls and texts as we dig into our best and worst TV series finales of all time. You're welcome to join that conversation as well. You're listening to Geek to Me Radio. Please stand by.
The Transformers, more than meets the eye. Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. The Transformers, more than meets the eye. The Transformers, robots in disguise.
Attack the Autobot commander! Call in the Decepticon leader!
The Transformers, more than meets the eye.
The Transformers from Hasbro.
Oh, this town's changed.
We switched it around. Now we're playing cops and robbers. You'll be the robber.
Okay.
The new Hot Wheels USA Builder Set. Sheriff Patrol Car, Camaro Z28, sold separately.
It's going up.
You have to put the set together, and you can change it around.
Hey, wasn't there a road here?
Not anymore, Dad.
Hot Wheels USA Builder Set. Not for use with Hot Wheels Hauler. Hot Wheels cars sold separately. New from Mattel.
The Legoland Beta 1 command base. You build it for action. You can pretend the radar sounds an alert.
This is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman. You're listening to Geek to Me Radio.
Welcome back to the show, Geek to Me Radio, heard here every Sunday on the Big 550 KTRS. I'm your host, James Enstall. I want to make sure we tell you about our official comic book sponsor, Bugs Comics and Games. You know, Mike proudly had that. They were talking about in the very season 1, they talked about lending their X-Men 127, which was, part of the Dark Phoenix saga. And I'm like, I've got that comic, or I used to have it. But who probably still has it is Larry at Bugs. So if you're wanting to get into comic books, maybe you want to go in and read some of these comic books like the Godzilla series that we talked about. Go talk to Larry. Let him know you are interested in getting into comic books. Tell him, hey, I'm looking for this kind of comic. I'm more of a Western comics fan. I like the old Charlton horror ones. Whatever it might be you're into, let Larry know, and he'll say, yep, I've got those. They're in this box over here. If you're wanting to divest yourself of your collection, maybe you're at that point where it's just like, I have too many comic books, and I've read them all, kind of got my use out of them. I want to go ahead and pass them on to somebody else who will get that love out of it, and I don't have any family members. Larry will give you a very fair price for your collection. The bonus is I'll get to go in a couple weeks later and dig through new back issues, so it's a win-win-win, really. If you're unsure about what, I like comic books. I used to read this one. I always say Larry's your own personal comic concierge. So if you're wanting to get in, I used to have this issue. It had Shockwave on the cover from Transformers. That's Transformers number 5 by Marvel. It's in that box over there. He'll be able to send you right in that direction. If you're wanting to get into new comics, every Wednesday's New Comic Books Day. It's like Christmas Day for nerds once a week. Pop in there and get your new comics and then join the Avengers Club so you start saving money on your new issues, your back issues, your supplies. If you want to get some games, if you want whatever it might be you're getting, save some money on that by joining the Avengers Club. Start your pull list so you have your comic books waiting for you each week. You don't have to get there right on Wednesday. They'll be put aside for you so you don't miss the new issue of Ultimate Spider-Man that just ended or any of the other new comics like the Infernal Hulk that's out now. So start your pull list. Join the Avengers Club. Tell them you heard about it on Geek to Me Radio. Bugs, Comics, and Games on Facebook and on Instagram. Give the page a like. Follow them on Instagram as well. We're very proud to have them as the official comic book sponsor here on Geek to Me Radio. We have Chef Liz Schuster in studio with us. We're talking all about Stranger Things. Before we move on to generic TV series, was there any last final thoughts you want to give about Stranger Things?
Okay. So when you and I first discussed this, my first reaction was like, I was so aggravated because I wanted some kind of bittersweetness. I expected someone to die.
Someone pointed out in the chats. Yeah, someone should have died.
And
should have been Steve.
I love Steve.
I love Steve too. That's why it would have been an impactful death on the audience and the other characters. But
and I think that's maybe a generational thing. We were looking for that sadness, that mark, that scar, right? That would be, carried on. So that I rewatched it again today to make sure that, I was having the same feelings about, it is hard to tie up something like that.
Sure.
It is really hard. But there's a line when they're playing their last, hopefully not their last campaign, because I'm old and I still love to play. They're playing kind of their last campaign together as young adults. And who is it? Max asked Mike, like, what's up with the nice ending? Or I'm paraphrasing. She said, like, comfort and what did she say? Comfort and happiness, something like that.
Not comfort and joy, but
something along those lines. And that was, I really understood what Max was saying. Like, what do you mean, sunshine and rainbows,
right.
But, that is kind of the end of a campaign. Like, here's your gold. You all go off and you live wonderful lives. And that's the fictional ending, right? But that's why we played, to win and then to celebrate.
And have that, exactly, yeah. So as a second watch of it, your opinion went up a little bit of the finale?
It did.
Okay.
It did. I think I was... I wanted it to return to where it started, in a sense, to be have that dark grittiness again, a major character loss. I was kind of expecting that. It didn't go that direction.
Right.
But I don't think that my opinion of it was I wasn't as upset the second time I watched it.
All right. So there you go. We appreciate all of you listening in the chats here. And like I said, as we move on here, feel free to, Ken Krantz says, in the 60s childhood, everyone knew what Godzilla was. So yeah, exactly. And Olivia, Justice League and Batman, Kevin Conroy coming back with us from break. Yes, I always try to play him at least once per show when I come back from commercial break. So pivoting now, as we finish the series finale of Stranger Things, which kind of made me think I'd love to cover best and worst series finale of all times. There's only one that I really hate. It was like, oh, that was just awful. I know famously The Sopranos is one that people were like throwing things at their TV. I only watched a handful of episodes of that, so I can't speak to it, but I know Joey is going to jump in on this topic with us, so I'm going to let Joey go first. You have a particular one that you really liked, nailed it, or one that you just completely hated?
I think I'll start off with some painful ones first, and it's more of an emotional feeling, something that I just couldn't take. So first off, I want to say that I love Conan O'Brien. He's one of my favorite people. He is the perfect Oscar host. I'm so glad he's coming back. But when he had the Tonight Show, the actual Tonight Show that Jay Leno had, and then he took over, he lost the Tonight Show after 9 months because Jay Leno wanted it back.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that final episode was so emotional for me because I thought he made it. My guy made it. It's something that he's been working towards his whole life. The late night show was so funny, and he had made the Tonight Show even better than it had ever been. And then that final episode, Will Ferrell comes out, and he's dressed as Ronnie Van Zant from Lynyrd Skynyrd, and they play Freebird. And it had me crying. And Conan comes out, and he's great at guitar. He comes out and he plays with Beck, and Max Weinberg came back, and Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top. And it's just that song, when you have such a emotional relationship to it, it actually hits, differently, because you hear it all the time. People yell Freebird at concerts, but when you have an actual emotional thing happening to it, it's a beautiful song. I remember Devil's Rejects, they used that song in such a beautiful way. And, it just made me cry knowing that Conan had something taken away from him.
Yeah.
And of course, like a phoenix with this beautiful red mane, he has risen from the ashes and he's bigger and better than ever. But I was afraid to delete that from my DVR for so long. I just thought, once I delete this episode, then it's gone. And then, of course, DVRs crash and then you lose everything.
And now it's on YouTube. I'm sure you can find it. Yeah,
you could, I watched it a couple nights ago and it made me feel the same way.
Okay. So that was one of your favorites or least favorites?
That's like a so bad, it hurts, but I'm so happy now in hindsight what's come of it.
Yeah,
I went to Universal Studios in Orlando and they have the Jimmy Fallon Tonight Show ride, and there's a tiny little sliver where they have Conan's little shrine and, Jay Leno twice, and it's just so annoying. And that ride is fine, but the fact that there's a whole ride dedicated to Jimmy Fallon, just how sickening.
Conan O'Brien, because I remember that was my senior year of high school that Conan launched his show, and I remember watching it that very first episode. Like, this guy is great. I really like it.
I love Conan O'Brien. He's a genius.
Yeah, so good. And like you said, one of the best Oscar hosts I think they've ever had.
I loved For Me to Pupan.
Yeah, Triumph the Insult Comic Dog.
That was the introduction was on Conan's show, right?
I think so. Yeah, that's where he got to start. And in the year 2000, when they were predicting what would happen 6 years down the road. I'm not sure if this is best or worst, guys, so let us know in the chats, because Christian Basil from Legend of the Traveling TARDIS says Quantum Leap. Is that a good one or a bad one? Let me know. I'm assuming that is a best one, because I thought it was bittersweet, like you said. He never got home, which was like, oh, that's crushing. But is that a good, depending on where you fall, that could be good or bad. Olivia Miller says Buffy the Vampire Slayer series finale. I enjoyed that quite a bit, too. I thought they did Anya dirty. She shouldn't have died. Anya should still be alive. That was horrible.
Yeah, but I thought it was amazing. I love the end of Buffy because it was, to me, the battle.
The big battle,
right? The big battle was, to me, like Lord of the Rings battle. It was huge.
Epic.
It was epic. And then leaving on a school bus.
Right. Yeah.
I love that. I thought it was funny and poignant. You know, I like that ending. To go from that kind of grandiose battle to...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that kind of, they had that woven throughout the series. It was such a well-written, say what you want about Joss Whedon as a person, the series, he had a lot of great writers like Marty Knox and a bunch of other great people under him who really wrote great stories for that series. That whole series was fantastic.
Well, we'll have to talk about another one of his shows.
Okay.
Firefly.
One season. So would you consider the movie the series finale?
Yeah, I do in my mind. I think, and I was so mad that Wash had to die. But I'm the person who's looking for a death.
Right.
But I'm like, why Wash? I loved his character.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, but I remember that ending because it was so emotional.
And a leaf on the wind.
Yes.
I mean, and again, that was Firefly's Steve Harrington.
Yes.
He died, and it had the most impact on the audience and the crew. So that's why I think Steve Harrington should have died in Stranger Things. You can come at me all you want. Olivia Miller says Game of Thrones bad finale. I watched Game of Thrones hit or miss, but I know a lot of people did not like it. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was hey, let's get this done. We don't know where we're going exactly. So were you a big Game of Thrones?
Oh, huge. GOT. And I did feel like it was a lot to whip. It felt really forced and fast, and you know what I mean? Like, they had to get this done.
Yeah.
It was on, 78 instead of,
right.
Yeah. It was just like, let's get this wrapped up and done and get it all over with. And let's, it didn't get what it deserved. I thought it should have gotten a film.
Yeah. Like a film to kind of end everything, wrap everything up.
Yeah.
So do you have one that you think is like one of the worst series finales of all time?
Lost.
Okay. You're not alone there.
Absolutely. I yelled at the screen. I think I threw a shoe. I was so upset because I think they had interviewed, what's the name of the writer?
Martin.
Yeah.
George R.R. Martin.
No, not Game of Thrones, Lost.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lost. J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams. And I think I saw an interview with him where he swore that it wasn't Spoiler alert. Yeah.
It was purgatory.
It was. It was like a balloon
just
being released and just, farting its way in a downward spiral.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Let's see. Buffy spinoff Angel for Christian Basil. There wasn't even a big battle in the end. They just kind of allude to that big battle.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it, though, but I loved, and again, for those of you who may not know, or the comic books picked up, Dark Horse did a Buffy season 8 in the comic books where they show what happened after all the Slayers now had power across the globe. And they did an Angel season 6 where they show what were the results of that big final battle with all the senior partners at Wolfram and Hart. So I'm not sure if you've seen those, Christian. If not, I'd recommend them. They were very, very good reading. And I agree, they did do Wesley dirty. That was my sad thing about, because Wesley was probably one of my favorite characters spinning off of Buffy. Olivia Miller says, what about the Charmed original series season finale? I wasn't a Charmed person. I've like episodes here and there, but I don't think I watched it consecutively all the way through.
I don't know enough about Charmed. I didn't really catch it. I didn't watch it.
Since I mentioned it, I will say the one that I hated, and it's really, when I think about series finales, I'm like, it was okay, or well, I never really loathed the season finale, got mad until Dexter. That was hands down the worst series finale of all times. They should have ended it with John Lithgow's character. That, for those of you, spoiler alerts, I think it ended when did it go off? 2012 is when it ended, 2014.
And I couldn't agree more. Where did that come from outside of the fact that the two of them had broken up in real life and he wanted her off this? I don't know. That was terrible.
But that's supposed to be his sister. And after she is dead, he dumps her in the ocean with his other victims. The one person in the world he actually fought and cared for and loved, his sister. No, that was horrible. And then he's just going to go off and leave everybody. And no, that was the worst. I was so angry. The whole thing was just a horrible way to end that series.
He had a code.
Yes.
A code about he treated people who are evil. Those are the only ones he was allowed to go after,
Correct.
right? So what does he do? He dumps his sister in the same place that all the criminals went to, and I thought, none of this makes sense.
No.
That's why I won't watch the new one. I won't watch the new stuff.
I haven't either. Let's see. Craig says the Firefly books afterwards were well received, and I just did actually pick up a set of those, Craig, so I'll have to read those myself. Our friend Chance from Atlanta says he runs a nostalgic pod blast. Stranger Things finale was great. Binged the entire series recently. The movie theater, the Plaza here in the Atlanta, sold out of all their screenings. That's impressive. Thank you, Chance, for listening, for tuning in and giving your 2 cents on that. We appreciate that. Shannon says, what about Cheers? I thought the Cheers finale was fine. Were you a Cheers fan, Joey?
I think I was a little too young to really pay attention week to week, but I loved watching Cheers when it was on. I think Frasier gets into radio or something, right? Isn't that how it goes? Yeah. And I love that.
Yeah. Joey's a Frasier fan.
I love Frasier.
Yes, it was a great show.
I love Frasier on a level that I just thought it was such brilliant writing. Loved it. Ended Cheers was kind of sad. They didn't end up together, which kind of makes sense. But when he goes back in to, the bar and at the end. So, it
was okay. It wasn't bad. I thought it was, it was fine.
Yeah. I more recently, I think I've been more upset about things like, did you see The Penguin?
Loved The Penguin.
Love The Penguin. Now, it was emotionally uncomfortable for me to watch that. It was very painful, the last episode.
Yeah.
And it also left me with, I so want more of this. I was more mad like, it's over.
Right.
What do you mean? This can't be. I was recently, I thought Penguin was one of the most brilliant series I've seen in a long time.
All the way through, I would say. Did you watch Penguin?
I did not, but it won all the awards for makeup, and that made me want to watch it.
Yeah, it's very good, well acted. I would never have guessed that was Colin Farrell in a million years. Just really superb.
So convincing, complex, great writing, great story. I'd say, I have it on my not happy list because I was not happy it was over. And I thought, wait. What do you mean he just left?
Right.
What the hell? That's not cool. But it does fit his character. I think we were talking about things ending like Mad Men. Did you like the ending of Mad Men?
I did, yeah. Again, very mid for me. It didn't bother me, but it was also kind of like, eh.
Do you want to see how the characters end up, or do you want them to live in that like quantum leap in the ethos, kind of like, so you're drawing your own conclusions?
I do like that.
Yeah,
in my mind, they killed Nate the Howls on the island. They're still there. That's how my headcanon goes for Gilligan's Island. Did you have a thought about that one? Not Gilligan's Island, but
Don Draper becomes a hippie, right? I love that for him.
He's on some kind of farm,
He had to stick up his butt that whole show, doing that double life thing. It was nice that he could smoke some drugs and relax finally.
Wasn't he on to the next thing to write Coke commercials? Like, I'd like to buy the world of Coke.
Mm-hmm. Oh, was that? Yeah.
I think that's what he was having an epiphany about.
Yeah.
About, I'm going to teach everybody to sing and drink a Coca-Cola. I'm going to use this yoga thing, hippie thing to my advantage.
Eric Davidson said, I did like Penguin ended the way it should have, reminding the audience that Oswald Cobblepot is a villain at the end of the day, which I agree. Craig Parson, Dinosaurs ending was a great ending. I didn't see Dinosaurs. Olivia Miller says
I just
she liked
watched
My Name's
Dinosaurs.
Earl. Did you?
I watched it to get ready for this show. I watched it. Yeah, it's just on Disney Plus. I said this thing has actually become a meme.
Yeah.
I don't remembering the final episode. I love Dinosaurs. I had the stuffed animal. I had the McDonald's toys. So I watched the ending, and it's a bummer.
All right.
I love Dinosaurs. Anything that's Jim Henson, I think, is genius.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong there. We're going to take a very quick commercial break, very quick one, so we can wrap up the show here. If you're listening, stay tuned. There are some other chats that just came in. I will try to get those when we come back. You're listening to Geek to Me Radio on the Big 550. Please stand by.
Feels its hidden firepower.
Gotcha.
Mask, where illusion is the ultimate weapon.
The Micro Machine Man here, presenting the genuine, original, colossally collectible, most midget miniature replicas of the real things. Micro Machines. Dramatically detailed, stupendously styled, smaller than a nut, this one or this one. And now with a totally terrific town, the new Micro Machine Super City Toolbox playset. Closed, it's a mild mannered toolbox. Open, it's a Micro Machine USA. Cruise your mini Micro Machine vehicles, planes, and boats to the police station, the marina, the mini motorcycle repair shop, the gas station, the construction office, work, the real working drawbridge, highway, passenger ramp, and garage doors. Or take a Micro Machine flying machine in for a landing. Phew, this place has it all. The new Micro Machine Super City Toolbox playset from Galoob. The one and only outrageous original miniatures. Remember, if it doesn't say Micro Machines, it's not the real.
It's Wampa Cave. Luke's inside. We better get him out. Arg, arg. Wampa.
Introducing Host World. 3 playsets in 1. New from Star Wars Micro Collection line. 19 die-cast figures and action poses included.
Wow, they're small enough to fit in one hand. Yeah, pow. So much for Probot Spy. It's safe, Chewie. Arg, arg. We can get back to Hop Iron Cannon. Hey, it connects to Hop Wampa Cave. Han's here.
Geek to Me Radio.
I just realized I didn't plan it that way, but we've come back now with 2 Bruce Waynes, Kevin Conroy and David Mazouz. Gotham was another one. Oof, they didn't stick that ending at all for Gotham. You expect me to think he grew up like 9 years in the span of a season? No, thank you. But I want to make sure we tell you about our premier sponsor, the Greater St. Charles Convention and Visitors Bureau. The website is discoverstcharles.com. If you're free this coming Tuesday, January 6th, you might want to pop over to the St. Charles City Hall. They are having a meeting about what might be happening with the Convention and Visitors Bureau. And if you like what's happening with the tourism department, if you like the job they did with this season's Christmas traditions and their Legends and Lanterns, pop over and show your support. The more faces there are in the crowd, the better. You don't have to speak if you don't want to, but it's nice to have that support for the Tourism Center, which does so much fantastic work putting all those events on. It's truly inspiring when you get out there and you're on the cobblestone streets and you're watching the chestnut roasters roast chestnuts over fire, or you're watching Jack Frost roast Susie Snowflake, as the case may be, or you're hearing the carolers sing their songs. You've got Ebenezer Scrooge, and you get the Victorian Christmas Carol stroll on Wednesday nights. Picturesque doesn't even begin to describe it. My biggest compliment I've received, I think, is from Dan Reba, who's going to be a guest at this upcoming Two Rivers Comic Con again in April. He's always been on the show. He's heard me do these live reads, and he took him out. I showed him around the cobblestone streets, went out to dinner at the main house, and he said, James, you've undersold this place. This place is incredible. And it really is. We had so many great people come and visit from all over the country, all over the world. Other countries came and hung out with us during Christmas traditions. And that's just the kind of festival and the kind of stuff and the tourism department brings to this. So January 6th, 6 o'clock at St. Charles City Hall. Pop in and let them know, hey, we like what the St. Charles Convention and Visitors Bureau and the tourism people do, and we don't want anything to change. If you haven't been over there lately, come visit, because even though it's January and you think all the festivals are over, they got the ice sculpting stuff going on North Main. Go to the website, discoverstcharles.com, click on events. You'll see all the things that are happening month by month. You can plan your trip, come out, and even if you're not going for an event, my gosh, the food. Breakfast at Novella's, lunch at Salt and Smoke, dessert at Sugar and Sliced. Your whole day is planned for you as you shop all these great businesses, these small, locally owned businesses like First Capital Trading Inc. and the Cozy Shop and whatnot. Go up and down and find some unique gifts for that special someone in your life. Enjoy it and start your trip at the website, discoverstcharles.com. As we always say, it's an historically good time Chatting here as we wrap the hour up. Best and worst TV series finales of all times. I've got Chef Liz Schuster of Tenacious Eats. Before, so we don't do this very hurriedly at the end, if people want to keep up with you online, find out about the next Tenacious Eats events or whatever it might be you're planning, where would they go to keep up with you online?
All they have to do is find me on Facebook, Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I am working on a Substack right now. You can just go to Tenacious Eats or stltenaciouseats.com. Perfect.
So you can keep up with her there and check all the stuff she's doing out. You wanted to mention one real quick before I wanted the chats here. Nostalgic Pod Blast. Our friend Chance says The Fugitive on ABC, totally before his time, but he's got the original 16 millimeter film. Wow, that is before my time as well, obviously. Emily says, controversial. I think Miss Maisel finale, while a bit tough to absorb, felt true to the experience. I loved that series start to end. It was wonderful. The season finale when she screamed, Mike, and she's trying to get her on the show that last minute. She has her big break. I love that. Love that series. Let's see. I'm making sure I don't miss anyone else here. No, my rant about what was a horrible show was not about the Seinfeld season finale, although a lot of people didn't like how that ended too, with all of them going off to jail.
Oh, it was appropriate. They had to go to jail.
I thought so.
And then he starts doing stand-up in the cell. It just shows they don't care.
Right.
They don't care.
No one cares.
No one cares.
That's the thing.
Yeah, I thought that was so appropriate.
But you mentioned one that you said was one of the best ones. I agreed with you. I thought it was also up there. You mentioned Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah. I heard
all good things.
I had so many arguments with friends over that, about the leaping between the past, the future. You know what I mean? As far as his introspect, his view of what was going to happen, what did happen, his place in the universe. I had so many friends who were mad that it ended with the crew sitting down together playing cards.
Again, that's one of those, they're off in the ether. They're still having...
I loved it because I thought he was living in the moment, a very valued time with his crew as long as he could. Yeah. More about interpersonal relationships than anything else. So I thought that made sense to me.
Yeah. A little bit of a throwback to the Stranger Things. They're all sitting down to play D&D. They're all sitting down to play poker on the Enterprise.
Yeah.
Joey V, is there another one you want to shout out, either a best or worst?
I've always loved Saturday Night Live. Everyone who's ever worked on it, I follow their careers. And so New Year's Day, I watched I'm Chevy Chase and You're Not, the new documentary on CNN.
I haven't seen it yet.
And it reminded me how Community is a perfect show. 110 episodes. All of them are amazingly funny. So I rewatched the series finale, season 6, and it's great. It's exactly what you would think. Everyone pitches season 7 ideas to Abed in their own beautifully meta ways. I mean, Shirley comes back in a few scenes. Donald Glover isn't there, but he's mentioned. No one mentions Chevy Chase because he got... first he got crippled into a wheelchair because they hated him so much on set. And then they just kicked him out of the study group and they never mentioned him again. Yeah. And then the final segment is, it was all a board game, maybe. And then Dan Harmon, the creator, just comes in and vents about the entire making of the show. Just like, how the heck did we end up on Yahoo Screen for the final season? And these people who fill out the diaries on whether they watch a show, they're all full of crap. And everyone loves Community. And I think the movie is on its way. They are making it right now. So 6 seasons in a movie, I think, is going to come true.
Let's hope so. I think that'd be great. Let's see. We got about a minute here before we got to be out. Eric Davidson agrees with you, Joey. Community is fantastic. Yeah. We need that movie. Chance, the Nostalgic Pod Blast, MASH, obviously still, I think, the most watched season finale of all time. I think to this day, based on per capita, I think that still holds the record, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it still the record
I would
holder?
have to look that up. Someone correct me in the chats if I'm wrong, but I believe... Eric, you're right. Breaking Bad was not mentioned tonight, but that is, I think... probably one of my favorite. If I had to describe it, someone says, what is a perfect TV series? Breaking Bad. I didn't like the Fly episode. Seemed a little weird when he's dealing with the fly that's in the cook lab. Other than that, I thought every episode was brilliant.
I'm saving Breaking Bad. Do you ever save a series?
I'm glad I'm doing spoilers.
For when I go to prison, I'm going to watch Sopranos.
When I go to prison, or I end up in a full body cast and someone kicks me out of the study group. That's what I'm saving Breaking Bad for.
I'm glad I did not do any spoilers then. That shouldn't give away anything what I said. So, yeah. perfect series finale as well. So thank you, all of you in the chats. My gosh, I can't even mention you all because so many of you joined the chats tonight. Thank you, everyone, to listen all over the country. We had people from Georgia, California. I saw someone from Tennessee in there. Thank you all for listening. I really appreciate it. Two Rivers Comic Con, the number 2 Rivers Comic Con. Tickets are on sale now. Get them now and tell your friends. We want to make this even bigger than it was last year. Thank you to Chef Liz for coming in. Joey didn't have a camera on him, so I'm going to turn the camber. There's Joey V. Making the show sound and
is this our series finale? Oh my gosh.
This is just the season we're starting. This is the season premiere. So thank you to all of you who watched in the chats, and until next week, my friends.
That's our show. This is Geek to Me Radio. That's our show. This is Geek to Me Radio.
Thank you, Hawkins, Indiana. Good night.